Before we get into today's episode of Daily Brightness, we just want to say a huge thank you to our proud partners, Shaw, for being with us from the very beginning, and what a start it's been.
I think the reaction to our podcast so far has been nothing but positive from our family, from our friends, from our teammates, from our fans. It's been really nice to see all the positive reviews and feedback, so keep that all coming.
Yeah, I also think that we've probably learned a lot about ourselves, and me and Rach always talk about this podcast. You know, it's more than just us chatting. It's actually like a little therapy session. And I've actually learned a lot about myself, and I feel like it's given me the confidence to open up a little bit more and show that more vulnerable side. So yeah, it's been really, really refreshing. And we also get to appreciate all the things that we've achieved. Rach, everything you're achieving with Villa, you know, the form at the end of the season, me getting my 200th in the WSL and talking about all our accomplishments, the hard times. Yeah, it's becoming a really nice platform actually, and I'm really enjoying where it's going. But thank you to everyone for the amazing support.
So thanks again to Shaw for showing up for women's football and backing the pod from day one. And thank you all for tuning in.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Rest is Football Daily Brightness. Rach, how are you?
Good. I'm fine, thank you. I have had a busy week with golf.
I did see the golf. How are you getting on?
Do you know what? I went for my first 18 the other day, and
God, straight in with the big boys, yeah?
The course was 62 and I got round in 87, so I don't think that's bad. 29 over on my first time with no lessons.
Round of applause for RD.
Yeah, I need lessons because I'm just not very comfortable with the driver, but my iron game is pretty strong. When I get on the green, I literally want to throw the bloody putter in the bushes.
Have you had any angry golfers yet?
I think somebody might have shouted, "Come on!" on the course, but I don't know. I thought that's what they said because we basically I didn't go like obviously on a championship course. I went on like a 9-holer just round to ash.
Yeah.
And there was a championship course there, and I think their green was right by where we were teeing off. But not my fault. The people in front of us were worse than me, taking ages. I have to go wait.
Did you respond? Because I've just I just did a picture of you turning around like remember the taxi journey when he was on your foot? I just had that in my head going, it's not my fault.
Well, it wasn't my fault. The people in front of us were crap, taking ages. No, I don't know if they actually did shout that, but I just quickly hurried my shot and got on with it. But how are you? How the surgery? How did it go? How are you recovering?
Yes, surgery went well. Got in pretty quick, to be fair, which I think obviously the nature of my knee, and you know, it's one of those things that's never going to go away, and you know what it's like when you're trying to play with that constantly. So I was actually really happy that I was available the whole season, and then I think my knee did really well to hold up till the very last game. And yeah, obviously a little blip in the road, but surgery wasn't.
Sorry about that.
Everything okay?
I just dropped my phone. I'm just going to forewarn everyone because basically I've got to have my phone right here on vibrate because I've not had an electricity bill for 6 months and the electricity company are on the way.
Rach has not paid a lecky bill, so she's got to put 50p in meter. Nah, she's good.
Oh, God.
Yeah, listen, surgery went well. It was definitely needed, which was reassuring. It's always hard making a decision on kind of what's best when it comes to injuries. So obviously everyone wants to avoid surgery, but yeah, having come out, surgeon, was really happy with everything in terms of how it went. And now it's just ice is life. And yeah, I'm looking forward to spending the summer feeling better though, and getting my knee back to a place where I'm ready to compete again for the new season. Obviously gutting to miss out on the summer. It's obviously a big one, but knee's going well. Just stuck on the bloody crutches at the minute, and you know what I'm like, impatient, and I want everything now and fixed now. I want it all yesterday. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better that it's I've had it. It was a success. Now it's time to just move really slowly and get back on the pitch. But yeah, probably take a little bit of time.
Yeah, not an easy decision, but one that obviously you've needed to take. And road to recovery starts now. Let's go, bestie.
I know. And just a heads up for the viewers, Claire will be popping in, my amazing neighbour, because she's been walking the dogs every day for me, as I'm on strict rules not to do a lot of walking, and obviously on the crutches as well. Imagine me with 3 dogs.
That'd be a good video.
If you do hear the dogs going off, it's because they're their walker is on her way. But anyway, a little surprise for you all. Today's episode is all about Rach. We are going to dive into a time in America. We get asked it a hell of a lot by you guys. So we thought we'd take a trip down memory lane and let Rach talk us all through America, how it started. And yeah, give us the goss, girl.
So basically, how did it all start? Yeah, so I was playing for Lincoln at the time and I felt almost like my career had come to a bit of a standstill. I think it was the time where women's football was probably starting to kick on and take off. So it was a scary time to think about leaving, but also it was a time where I was told I wouldn't play for England
Really?
in the seniors. So I was 18, 19 when I was making the decision. I was not involved in the England setup after the under-17s. So it was a really hard time for me to sort of, told I wasn't going to play. I probably wouldn't get into the senior squad. So it was a decision where, do I stay where I am? You know, it was almost, I would say, a bit frowned upon to leave and go to America because you're not under the spotlight all the time. People can't see you regularly. And obviously at that point, my whole dream was to play for England. So it was quite scary to get up and leave and make that decision. But something came over me and I thought, you know what, I need a change. I need something to change in my career. I need to take sort of a different route.
Who did you speak to about that? Did you feel like you made that decision solely like on your own, or did you?
Yeah, do you know what? Like, I actually very clearly remember my mum and dad being like, obviously we'll support you, but don't think it's the right decision. Like, you need to be in England playing to play for England. Like, they knew my dreams.
Yeah.
So they were like, obviously, if that's what you want to do, we'll support you. But equally, I don't think it's probably the right thing to do. And you know what I'm like? I think the more people tell me not to do something, like, naturally I want to do it more.
Yeah.
And this opportunity came about to go to New York and go to university, which, again, was such a strange concept for me because I hated school. Like, I was never very academic. I never wanted to concentrate in school. I just wanted to play football. So obviously the college system in America, it's a little bit different to going to uni here and playing football. It just doesn't work to do it really side by side at the top level. So again, that was tough because it was like I'm going from playing at the highest level in England to not professional and going back. It almost felt like I was going backwards, but
yeah. How old were you?
It was sold to me in a way, 18, 19, I think. So it was sold to me in a way that, you know, getting a degree, I was living in New York City, and I thought, you know what, like, I'm doing it, I'm going for it. So I went out for a visit, had a look round, obviously got off the subway, looked up at the big city lights at Times Square and was like, yeah, count me in.
Not Rach being impulsive.
Exactly. But it was a really, really difficult thing to do because I don't know if you even know this, but because I'd been out of school for a certain amount of time, so I think we finished school at 16.
Yeah.
I think you can have 2 years out to go to uni there, and any longer than that, you have to sit out for your first year.
What?
So I was going there to study for my first year and not even get to play football. So for the first year I was there, I didn't play football. And obviously, like, I was a freshman, which is a first year, and I was 19, and most of the girls going into freshmen are like a lot younger. So like my class were a lot younger than me. So that was a really difficult transition, moving away and then not even being able to go do the thing that I went to do.
Was that playing on your mind, like, oh shit, is this the right decision? Should I still do it? Should I not? Or were you still like...
Yeah, for sure. I literally... Because, like, obviously I knew one of the girls there, she was English, but everyone else I didn't know, and I was away from home. I was finding somewhere to live. I wasn't able to travel to any of the away games. Obviously I was there for the home games, but not in the squads or anything. And I was just studying. So it was literally all the things that I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And I remember, because I went as a left back, obviously at Lincoln I was playing left back, so I went as a left back and I was training in every position that you could have imagined, because I was just like a fill-in trying to help the numbers, because obviously I wasn't playing. I went in goal at one point in training. So in a weird way, I found that actually that first year allowed me to settle into New York. Like, I've gone from small town Harrogate to New York City. I was able to, like, explore the city. I was able to find somewhere to live, get used to studying again. So as hard as it was to not play, I think in the grand scheme of things, it actually helped me. It helped me watch level and see what it was going to be like. And then with that, my coach literally was like, in your next year, I think we want to play you up front, because I was just banging goals in training. And I was like, perfect. Used to be a striker when I was younger. So I remember thinking to myself, like, this level's not very good. Like, it was so much better at home. I thought, what have I done?
Yeah.
Every day I was questioning, like, what am I doing? Like, why have I made this decision? And then I played in my first year and I had such a good year, like broke all the records in my first year, made All-American, like I was flying. I was doing well in school, my studies were good. God knows how, thanks to some of my teammates helping me along the way. But yeah, it was a really good experience. Probably some of the best years of my life. I've made some friends for life from there. And yeah, it was a really difficult decision, but I genuinely think probably the best decision I ever made in terms of my career and just life in general. Like I was living in New York City for 4 years.
That's so sick though as well.
Yeah.
What would you say the hardest part of like the first, obviously before we move on to the next part, your first year? One favourite memory from that and probably the hardest thing that you had to overcome?
Yeah, I would say the thing that was hardest was being away from home and not being able to do the thing that I loved the most.
Yeah.
I think that was really difficult. And obviously I'm going out there with nobody, so I'm trying to make friends. And all my friends that I had from the team were away all the time travelling, and I just couldn't be a part of that. So that was the most challenging for sure, along with getting into learning how to study again. My favourite memory of my first year from not playing would have been...
Or a funny story. I know there's some funny stories from America.
Yeah, I definitely have some funny stories. So here's one. So they do this thing called SantaCon in America. Well, in New York they do anyway. So every like Christmas, the New York City is like shut down because full of people dressed up as Santa.
Really?
Or elves. And you just go and just get absolutely hammered.
I would love
So obviously
that.
honestly, it was so funny. Sorry, I wasn't 19 when I was 20, because I remember just when I turned 21, I turned 21 December 6th, and then I was that's the legal age to drink, so I just turned 21, and then this SantaCon thing came about. Honestly, what a time to be alive.
Do they still do it?
Yeah, so fun.
All right,
honestly.
we're getting that on the list. Daily Brightness on tour to New York.
We need to do that. That's so funny. So I've got some good pictures from that. Yeah, I need to rack my brain. It's a long time ago now, but there definitely was some funny stories.
They'll pop
but
up along the
I
way.
made some friends that like genuinely are like lifelong friends. So
Yeah,
that is
so
probably
nice.
one of the best memories I've got.
Guys, just have to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute. So what came next? So you've been in New York. What's after that?
So I've done like the whole year. So I arrived in like the July, August, and then the full school year is when you can't play. So I thought I need to play. I need to be ready for the following season. Obviously, I've been training a lot and whatever, but I went to play in LA in the summer. That was amazing. So do you remember Tracy Kevins?
Yeah.
So she was out coaching in America for this summer league team in LA, and like approached me. I was like, "Do you want to come and play for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" Like a summer in LA.
That's so sick.
So I've gone from having like been in New York to go to LA. I'm like, got the best of both worlds here. And that was great. I literally had the best time there, stayed with the host family. And that's when I met Dave, my best friend in America. So he literally, shout out to him, he was my rock throughout my whole entire time in America. And obviously he's an individual trainer. So I did a lot of training with him in the summer. I actually did 2 internships with him in the summer. And it was such a great experience. I stayed with some amazing families, met some amazing people, and just got to play in like a summer league in LA. Like, what a better time, what a better place to do that.
That's so sick.
That was a great experience. And I think with that, obviously it's not professional, it's like semi-professional. So it also kind of got people to see me in the NWSL. They were able to see me playing. Because I kind of was just really a nobody, came out of nowhere, just decided to play up front and got shoved in at the deep end.
Breaking all the records.
So I did that in the summer.
What was the biggest difference? Like, did you, obviously New York, LA, 2 incredible places. I'm guessing there's not a favourite, but if you had to go back, which one would you pick?
So hard. Love them both for so many different reasons, but I think New York is my favourite city in the world. Obviously I went back last Christmas and it's like nostalgic for me now because it's almost like home away from home.
Yeah.
Like it's where I started my journey in America. So, but then the weather in LA is just beautiful, like the beaches. And so after that, obviously returned straight back to St. John's, which was, sorry for everyone that didn't know, that's my university, St. John's University. Went back and had the year of my life. And that was what I continued to do, would go play throughout the year at uni and then go to in the summer to play in LA. And if I wasn't playing, I was spending the summer there training with Dave. I was training with like good players as well. I was going from training like, you've got like Sydney LaRue training with me at 9 a.m, and then like a young school kid jumping in at 10 o'clock, and I'd jump in sessions like back to back to back all day just to get touches and be ready for the next season. And then, so 4 years at uni, and then that came a huge decision. Was it go home and join the league that is now thriving, or go and stay in America and put myself through the college draft system and play in the NWSL? And I think that was one of the biggest decisions I've ever had to make, because I actually spoke to Emma at the time. I think you remember that.
Yeah.
Emma Hayes, about coming back and signing for Chelsea, because I had a few good years. And
damn it, guys, I didn't succeed.
My final year at uni was when I first got called back up to England again.
That's wild.
So that was a moment where I stopped to think to myself, wow, I've made a good decision here. I made the right decision. I left.
Yeah.
And my success that I was having over there was recognised. And Mark Sampson's first ever squad, he selected me for that. So yeah, that was one of them where it was like, right, I'm getting back my feet into the England team. Do I go home now? Have I rode my time in America? Is it time to go home? Obviously I missed home, but then it was also quite scary because I just built this life in America.
Yeah.
Most of my adult life at that point was in another country. So it's do I leave? Do I stay? So I'd had a few conversations with a few English clubs, a few English managers, and I was back and forth. But I thought to myself, right, I'm going to put myself through the college draft. So for those of you that don't understand the draft, neither do I.
Good start.
It is very confusing. So basically, as a senior in college, you enter the draft. You have a opportunity to enter the draft. You can go earlier, but I obviously waited to do my uni. And there's predictions of where people are going to go. There's a lot that goes into it, because I was English at the time. It was quite difficult for people to get you a visa, and they've got to pay for your visa and get, it was more difficult than just getting an American or a Canadian through the system. So I was like, oh, maybe I won't get picked. And then I was really nervous, thinking, right, if I put myself into this and I don't get picked, I'll be devastated. I'll be so embarrassed of myself.
Yeah.
And you can't really have contact with any clubs before, so it's not like you kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I thought, right, put myself in it. Worst case scenario, I don't get picked. Then there's my decision. I go home. And it was in Baltimore. So I travelled there to go to the draft. And you go on the day, and it's they're give you a flag when you sign, and not a flag, a scarf and stuff. So I'm sat there thinking, and you're just waiting in this room, Millie. It's the most weird thing. It's on TV.
Your anxiety was literally through the
I was
roof.
sat there, I was like, oh, number 1's gone, number 2's gone, number 3's gone, number 4's gone. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get... And obviously the higher you get picked, the more chance... Because when you get picked in a draft, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not guaranteed to get a contract. So it's just basically inviting you to effectively a trial at that club.
That's wild.
So they just hold you right. So it comes to 6th in the first round, and it was Houston. Houston got 5th, 6th, and 8th. So they were on the clock, and you're waiting. You're like, oh, I don't know. And then they picked me. So I was like, oh my god. So I'm walking up to this stage, and I'm holding this scarf, go Houston. Didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Do the sign.
Hold it down, H-Town. So then I got drafted to Houston, and then it was right, now that's there. The pay was awful, Millie. I'd gone from probably earning more from being at uni, just paying for my fees, than I was going to play professionally. So I was like,
this is why she
honestly,
can't pay a lecky bill.
At the time, just to put this into perspective, guys, I was the contract for first year rookies in the professional league, minimum wage was $6,000 a year. I was like, right, so you want me to move from New York to Houston, knowing absolutely nobody, and try and live on $6,000 a year? I'm sorry. I was like, I don't know how to do this. So that was the first time where it was right, I'm going to need an agent or something to try and
get to see my best friend.
I was living under a rock in Houston. Oh, please pick me, England. I need to fly home. So then it was right, so you're getting contract offers from English teams that are way better than that. And I was like, what am I doing? Literally. I'm like, Dad, can you send us 20 quid? Seriously, at 24 years old, I was messaging my dad saying, can you send me 20 quid? Can you send me 50 quid? Like, I was asking for freaking pocket money at 24 years old. I was like, Mum, I'm really struggling. Can you send us a tenner?
Hang on, gives 10 pennies, get a Freddo.
and don't forget, then you've got like foreign exchange fees. So like they're paying the fees to send it to me. Wire this money to me. By the end of it, I was only getting like £6.
That is mental. $6,000, you know,
So-
for a year.
Yeah, so mine was actually luckily better. I think I got significantly more than that, which is maybe double in my first year. But
Yeah, don't
so that
push
was really
that out
difficult.
too much.
I know. So obviously I was fortunate because they paid for a really nice apartment and, you know, you get looked after. But still, I was just like, I can't survive on this type of money.
Do they
Like,
provide that for every player? Like accommodation? Or is that like dependent on...
honestly, the NWSL now is huge. Like they get the money's incredible and they get housing and all that. So it is, I knew it was always going to take off. It was just, obviously I went through the part where it wasn't.
Just not...
That's not when I was there. So do you know what? I thought instead, a typical me, it's like, you know what, let's do this. Like, let's challenge myself. Let's test myself in this league. Let's try and get through a year earning 50p a week. And then was my first season in Houston.
Right, guys, that's it for today's episode and the first part of Rachel's deep dive into her time in America. On the second part of it, we'll hear all about her time in Houston.